We have flown from North Kenya to the Masai Mara in South Kenya. These are our accommodations for the following 3 nights. The landing strip is between the gazelles and the gazebos. As we left camp on our first game drive, we saw this 5-foot monitor lizard below the bridge. These are Cape buffalo, shown with the mud bath that makes them happy. And these are eland, the largest antelope in Africa. More eland with a giraffe. It seemed like the elephants here had larger tusks than some we've seen previously. Maybe that's because fewer of the ones with large tusks have been removed from the gene pool by hunters. Or maybe it's my imagination. This giraffe has put itself in a vulnerable position to get a little bit of water out of the bottom of that little creek bed. It's much more difficult for him or her, him I guess, to respond if there's a predator attacking. Notice that the darker spots on this giraffe are not as smoothly shaped as the ones that we saw in the previous camps. These are Mara giraffes. In the wetlands, there's a fairly good concentration of ibises, herons, and egrets. This is a plains zebra with stripes all the way down its legs to its hooves. A giraffe and some plains zebras. Looks like the foliage is out of reach. Everywhere we went, we saw large numbers of zebras. It's late in the afternoon, and this lioness is returning to her cubs. Apparently she's being careful to make sure she's not being watched by hyenas, or I'm not sure what else her concern would be. In any case, we are between where she is and where her cubs are, so she's approaching us now. Her cubs are probably about a year old. As you can see there, she's hidden them in the grass over on the left. Lions are very sociable animals. They interact a lot. One of the cubs certainly wants to monopolize the greeting with the mother. It looks like he or she is going to try to steer mother away from the other cub who's just sitting patiently and waiting. And just a short ways away, we came across another lion. On our way back to camp, as the light was fading, we found this cheetah perched on an old termite mound, just surveying the territory. This hippo was in a very small creek adjacent to the bridge where we saw the monitor lizard on our first drive. We saw the lone hyena in a field near where we saw the cheetah the previous day. This impala had a particularly large set of horns. I spotted this well-hidden reed buck about 100 yards off the road. This is a gazelle. The photo stopped his tail from swinging. At this location there were 3 female lions. They were taking turns lounging in these holes in the ground. We were told it was unusual to see rhinoceros in this area, but here's a black rhino and offspring. These elephants marched down toward us from some foothills, or down toward water that was near us. We went to the other side of the road and got out and had breakfast. We came across this troop of baboons along a river, and just upstream were quite a few actually, hippos in the water. This is a heron. We're told that the throat action is actually a way that they cool themselves. Warthogs on the grounds of our camp kept the grass under control so they didn't need to mow. Notice these warthogs kneel to graze while the ones in the north stand up. Banded mongoose are always fun to watch. They seem to travel in random ways and interact with each other in amusing ways. Near the camp, I saw 4 white-tailed mongoose. They're much larger, and as the name might suggest, they have white tails. Unfortunately, they were all at night, and I couldn't get. This is a secretary bird hunting. They tend to be about 2.5 to 3 feet tall. These are among the first topies we saw. They're mixed in with some plains zebras. The thing that's characteristic about them is they have sort of a blue patch on their shoulders and their hips. Topi is spelled T-O-P-I. During our second afternoon drive, we had some rain, and we encountered this puff adder on the road. Until this point, we hadn't seen wildebeests. We'd heard that there are so many in Africa, but we hadn't seen any yet. So our guides had heard that there were some in the area and took us to them. And as you can see, we didn't find just one. We found a pretty significant number of them. They seem to be collecting as though to migrate, but they certainly had plenty of grass to eat here. I'm not sure why they would be wanting to move on. After we left the wildebeest, we saw these hyenas. They appear to be milling about at their home. but the grass is so deep we really couldn't see, and we didn't have much time to linger, so we had to move on. This is a clearer view of the topee. On the main road back to camp, we encountered 4 uh, female lions going the opposite direction, so we stopped and let them go by.